Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring the world of AIOps,
AIOps.
which is artificial intelligence for IT operations. And
Yeah.
we've got some really fascinating excerpts from a document called AIOps, Transforming IT Operations Through Artificial Intelligence.
Great title.
Yeah. And we're going to try to break down what AIOps is, why it matters, and what the future holds.
It's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's more than just a tech buzzword or, just another acronym.
Right.
AIOps is really about addressing this ever-growing complexity of IT systems in a whole new way.
Right. It's not like we can just throw more people at the problem anymore.
Yep.
Like think about how much IT has changed, even in the past few decades. In the 90s, it was all on-premise systems. So you could practically walk over to a server and, give it a kick if it was acting up.
Oh, yeah, and those system admins who knew every nook and cranny of their systems, they were like the IT shamans, relying on their hard-won experience and intuition.
Right, exactly.
A lot of tribal knowledge.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But then the 2000s came along and e-commerce exploded, and suddenly businesses needed their systems up and running 24/7. Those old manual monitoring methods just couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Plus, we had the rise of SLAs, those service level agreements where
Oh, yeah.
every minute of downtime could cost a company serious money.
Big time. And the tools back then weren't exactly helping either. I mean, imagine you're getting bombarded with alerts all day long, but 75% of them are false positives.
Oh my gosh.
It's like trying to find a signal in a sea of noise.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
It was.
So then, just when we thought we had a handle on things, the cloud revolution hits in the 2010s.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly we've got hybrid environments, containers, microservices, amazing for scalability.
For sure.
But talk about an explosion in complexity.
Right. We went from managing a handful of servers to potentially thousands of interconnected components.
Yeah.
Generating just this mind-boggling amount of data. I mean, large enterprises were suddenly dealing with 10 terabytes of operational data every single day.
Wow. That's like trying to drink from a fire hose.
It is.
No wonder those legacy tools started to crumble under the pressure.
Yeah.
Too much data for humans to analyze, systems changing too rapidly for static rules to keep up.
Right.
It's like trying to solve a 10,000-piece jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing.
Yeah. And that's where AIOps comes in.
Okay.
It's about applying the power of AI and machine learning to automate and enhance IT operations.
So it's not just about making things faster.
No.
It's about fundamentally changing the way we manage complexity.
Exactly.
Wow. So by 2023, it's no surprise that over 40% of large enterprises were already adopting AIOps in some form.
Yeah. They were looking for a life raft in that sea of data.
Right. They needed something.
Absolutely. And it's becoming essential not just for keeping the lights on,
Right.
but for thriving in this digital-first world. So if you're thinking about bringing AIOps into your world,
Yeah.
let's take a look at how these platforms are typically structured.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
Give me the AIOps architecture tour.
Okay, think of it as a well-oiled machine with 4 key layers,
Okay.
each playing a specific role. The first layer is all about data ingestion. Imagine a giant funnel that's designed to just hoover up all sorts of operational data.
Oh, wow.
Logs, metrics, traces, you name it.
So it's like the platform has this insatiable appetite for data?
It does. And it needs to be fast.
Okay.
We're talking about processing hundreds of thousands of events per second.
Wow.
It can't be getting indigestion from all that data.
That's impressive. So all this data is pouring in. What happens next?
That's where the second layer comes in, data processing and storage.
Okay.
This is where that raw data gets cleaned up, organized, and enriched with context.
Okay.
Imagine taking a messy pile of puzzle pieces and sorting them by color and shape.
So it's not just about storing the data. It's about making it usable.
It's exactly.
Turning raw data into meaningful information that can be analyzed and acted upon. Think of it like building a dynamic map of your entire IT environment,
Okay.
showing all the relationships and dependencies between different components.
Okay, now we've got all this organized data.
Right.
Where does the AI magic actually happen?
That's where the third layer takes the center stage analytics and machine learning.
Okay.
This is where those AI algorithms come into play, sifting through all that data to identify patterns, anomalies, and potential issues.
So it's like having an army of super smart detectives constantly analyzing the data looking for clues.
That's a great analogy, and they're really good at their jobs.
Okay.
Imagine an AIOps platform that can achieve a 95% detection accuracy
Wow.
while reducing those pesky false positives by 90%.
Okay, that's a serious upgrade from those old alert storms.
It is.
But insights are only useful if we can act on them, right?
Right.
What's the final piece of the puzzle?
That brings us to the fourth layer, presentation and automation.
This layer takes those AI-powered insights and turns them into actionable information.
Okay.
Think customizable dashboards, detailed reports, and even automated workflows.
So it's not just about observing, it's about taking action.
Exactly.
Okay, so give me an example of how this all comes together in a real-world scenario.
All right, imagine a sudden spike in application errors.
Okay.
The AIOps platform detects this anomaly, analyzes the data, and here's the cool part.
Yeah.
Automatically initiates the appropriate recovery procedure.
Wow.
You could restart a service, scale up resources, or even reroute traffic to prevent a full-blown outage.
So it's like having a self-healing system that can fix problems before they even impact users.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And the results are hard to ignore. We're seeing organizations achieve 60% faster incident resolution, 40% less noise from those false positives, and a 50% reduction in manual tasks.
Who wouldn't want that?
Right.
That's a compelling case for AIOps.
Yeah.
But let's not forget the foundation of this whole system, data, and not just any data, but high-quality data.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Let's dive into the different types of data that AIOps thrives on after a quick break.
Okay. Okay, so we're back, and we're ready to dig into the types of data that power AIOps.
All right?
It's like cooking, right? You can't create a masterpiece without the right ingredients.
Exactly. And AIOps is quite the gourmand.
Yeah.
It feasts on a variety of data types, each providing a unique perspective on the health and performance of your IT systems.
Okay, all right, let's break down this data menu.
Okay.
What's on the platter?
First up, we have logs. These are like the detailed diaries of your systems and applications, recording every event, every transaction, every little hiccup that occurs.
Oh, okay.
Think millions of entries per day.
Wow.
And even more for those modern containerized environments you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so if something goes wrong, logs are like the first place you go to try and figure out what happened.
Absolutely. They provide a wealth of information, but they can also be overwhelming for a human to analyze manually. That's where AIOps steps in.
Right, makes sense. What else is AIOps hungry for?
Metrics are next. Think of these as the vital signs of your IT infrastructure.
Okay.
CPU usage, memory consumption, network traffic response times, you name it. They're constantly being collected, giving you a real-time snapshot of how your systems are performing.
So if logs are the diaries, metrics are like the constant stream of health updates.
Exactly.
Okay.
And when you combine those two, you get a pretty comprehensive picture. But wait, there's more.
Bring on the next course.
Now we have traces, and these are particularly important for understanding how requests flow through those complex distributed systems we talked about.
Okay.
Imagine being able to follow a single request as it journeys through multiple microservices, pinpointing exactly where a bottleneck or delay occurs.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a GPS tracker for your data, showing you its entire route and all the stops along the way.
Precisely. And finally, we have topology data, which maps out the relationships between all the components in your IT environment. Think of it as a constantly updated blueprint that shows you how everything is interconnected.
So you can see at a glance how a problem in one area might ripple out and impact other parts of the system.
Exactly. And this holistic view is essential for effective root cause analysis and proactive problem solving.
Okay, so we've got all these different data types,
Right.
but having the data is only half the battle, right?
Right.
What are some of the challenges of building a solid data foundation for AIOps?
You're hitting on a crucial point. The first challenge is simply collecting all this data efficiently, especially when it's coming from a variety of sources in different formats and at massive volumes.
It sounds like trying to herd cats.
It can be.
How do you make sure you're capturing everything you need without getting overwhelmed?
It requires a strategic approach. You'll need a mix of agent-based and agentless collection methods, clever log forwarding techniques, and even network flow monitoring to capture those subtle interactions between systems.
Okay, so it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
You need to tailor your data collection strategy to your specific environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you've got all that data, the next hurdle is integration.
Okay.
How do you make sure data from different sources in different formats can actually talk to each other?
Yeah, it's like trying to get people who speak different languages to understand each other.
Precisely. It requires standardization.
Okay.
You need to normalize those timestamps, enrich the data with context, using metadata, and make sure it's all processed efficiently. AIOps can't make sense of the data if it's speaking different dialects.
So data integration is like building a universal translator for your IT systems.
That's a great way to put it. And here's a compelling stat. Research shows that organizations with standardized data integration processes can implement new monitoring capabilities 40% faster.
Yeah.
That's a significant advantage.
Okay, so we've collected the data, we've integrated it.
Right.
What's the final ingredient for a delicious data feast?
Data quality, of course. You've probably heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out.
Oh, yeah.
It's especially true for AIOps. If your data is incomplete, inaccurate, or untimely, it can lead to misleading insights and potentially harmful actions.
So it's not enough to just have a lot of data. It needs to be good data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where data governance comes into play.
Okay.
It's about establishing clear data quality standards, implementing validation rules, and fostering a culture of data ownership within your organization. Think of it as having a rigorous quality control process for your data, just like you would for any critical product.
Makes sense. So what are some practical tips for ensuring good data hygiene in an AIOps environment?
First and foremost, treat data as a valuable asset.
Okay.
Define clear data retention policies. Establish metrics to track data quality and make sure everyone understands their role in maintaining data integrity. And don't forget about security.
Right.
You need to protect that data from unauthorized access and tampering.
It's like having a security detail for your data. No unauthorized snooping allowed.
Exactly. And keep in mind that the volume of data is only going to increase, so design for scale from the beginning. Consider efficient data compression techniques, explore stream processing for real-time analysis, and have a solid data lifecycle management plan in place.
Okay, so we've laid a strong data foundation.
We have.
Now let's sprinkle in the secret sauce that really brings AIOps to life.
Right.
Machine learning.
This is where things get really exciting. Machine learning allows AIOps to move beyond simple automation and into the realm of proactive problem solving.
Okay, I'm ready for the deep dive into machine learning. Take it away.
One of the most fundamental techniques is anomaly detection. AIOps platforms employ a variety of algorithms to identify those unusual patterns in the data that might signal a problem. It's like having a bloodhound that can sniff out those subtle changes that would go unnoticed by a human.
And these algorithms go way beyond simple thresholds, right? It's not just about, hey, this number is higher than usual, sound the alarm.
It's exactly. We're talking about statistical learning, deep learning networks, even clustering algorithms that can identify complex patterns and correlations in the data.
Wow.
And they're remarkably accurate.
Okay.
Some AIOps platforms boast a 95% detection accuracy, which means you're catching almost all of those potential issues before they cause real problems.
That's impressive. But it's not just about spotting anomalies, right? AIOps also needs to understand what normal looks like.
Right.
So it can differentiate between a harmless blip and a genuine threat.
You're absolutely right. That's where pattern recognition comes in. Techniques like sequential pattern mining and association rule learning help AIOps understand those recurring sequences of events that typically lead to a specific outcome.
So it's like having a detective who can say, aha, every time we see this sequence of events, it's almost always followed by that problem.
Exactly. And once those patterns are identified, AIOps can take proactive steps to prevent the problem from occurring in the first place.
No, that's what I call proactive IT management.
Yeah.
But what about those situations where something does go wrong? How does AIOps help us get to the root of the problem faster?
That's where root cause analysis comes into play.
Okay.
And it's one of the most powerful capabilities of AIOps. Traditional root cause analysis can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, especially in those complex distributed environments.
You're talking about sifting through mountains of logs and trying to piece together what happened, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like a nightmare.
It can be, but AIOps takes a much more intelligent approach. Using techniques like causal graph analysis and temporal correlation, it can quickly pinpoint the most likely cause of an incident, significantly reducing the time and effort required for investigation.
So instead of spending hours or even days trying to figure out what went wrong, you can get to the root cause in minutes.
Exactly. Think about it if you're a financial firm and every minute of downtime costs you $2.3 million.
Oh, wow.
Being able to shave hours off your incident resolution time can make a huge difference to your bottom line.
That's a compelling argument for AIOps.
It is.
But it gets even better, right? AIOps doesn't just tell us what went wrong. It can also predict what's likely to happen in the future.
You got it. Predictive analytics is a game changer for IT operations.
Yeah.
It allows you to move from reactive firefighting to proactive planning.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this crystal ball capability.
Think about capacity planning. Traditionally, it's been a bit of a guessing game.
Yeah.
You try to predict future resource needs based on historical data and trends, but it's not always accurate. AIOps, on the other hand, can crunch through massive amounts of data, taking into account seasonal variations, business growth projections, and even external factors like upcoming marketing campaigns that might drive a surge in traffic.
So it's like having a super-powered forecasting tool that can help you avoid those costly over-provisioning or under-provisioning scenarios.
Exactly. And the same principles can be applied to other areas of IT operations. Imagine being able to predict potential system failures before they occur, giving you time to take preventative measures.
It's like having a sixth sense for your IT environment. You can sense those problems lurking around the corner and head them off at the pass.
Precisely. And there are already real-world examples where predictive analytics is making a huge impact. There's a case where LSTM networks, a type of deep learning algorithm, helped a major online retailer reduce system outages by a staggering 60%.
Wow.
That translates to significant cost savings and improved customer satisfaction.
Those are impressive results. Okay, so we've explored the data foundation and the magic of machine learning.
Right.
Now let's shift gears and talk about how AIOps is revolutionizing incident management.
All right.
This is where we see those AI-powered insights being put into action to streamline and automate the entire incident lifecycle.
Exactly.
All right, I'm ready to see how AIOps tackles those inevitable IT fires. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So we're back and ready to tackle incident management.
Yeah, this is where we really see those AI-powered insights in action. Yeah. Streamlining and automating that whole incident lifecycle.
Right, because traditionally this has been one of the most, stressful and reactive areas of IT.
Right, for sure. It's the classic scenario of waiting for something to break and then scrambling to fix it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you're just like constantly in firefighting mode.
It doesn't exactly make for a happy and productive IT team.
Right, but AIOps offers a different approach, right?
It does. It transforms incident management from reactive firefighting to a proactive, streamlined process.
Okay, so let's break it down. How does AIOps actually change the way incidents are handled?
Well, first off, it's about early detection.
Okay.
You know those AI-powered anomaly detection capabilities we talked about?
Yeah.
They're constantly monitoring your systems, looking for those subtle patterns that might indicate a problem is brewing.
So instead of waiting for users to start complaining or a system to completely crash,
Right.
You're getting a heads up that something might be wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because AIOps can analyze data from multiple sources and correlate events across different systems, it can often detect problems that would be invisible to traditional monitoring tools.
So you're saying it's like having a sixth sense for your IT environment.
Yeah. You can see those problems lurking around the corner before they even have a chance to cause damage.
Okay, I like that. And once an anomaly is detected, it doesn't just sound the alarm, right?
Right. It starts gathering information.
Oh, okay.
All relevant context so the IT team can quickly understand what's going on.
So no more digging through mountains of logs trying to piece together what happened.
Exactly. AIOps automatically gathers logs, metrics, traces topology data, everything that might be relevant to the incident.
It's like having a detective that instantly collects all the clues and presents them to you on a silver platter.
Precisely.
Okay, that sounds incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
But even with all the information at hand, it still takes time to figure out what the root cause of a problem is, right?
True. But that's where AIOps really shines. Using those powerful machine learning algorithms we talked about, it can analyze all that incident data and pinpoint the most likely root cause in a fraction of the time it would take a human.
So instead of spending hours or even days troubleshooting, you can get to the heart of the problem in minutes.
Exactly. And remember that financial firm we mentioned earlier, the one that loses $2.3 million for every minute of downtime?
Yeah.
Imagine the impact of reducing their incident resolution time by even 50%. That's a game changer for their business.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not just about speed, though, right?
Right.
AIOps also helps to improve the accuracy of root cause analysis.
Absolutely. Because it's not limited by human biases or assumptions, AIOps can often identify those subtle correlations and dependencies that humans might miss.
So not only are you resolving incidents faster, you're also less likely to misdiagnose the problem and apply the wrong fix.
Exactly. And that brings us to the next stage of incident management remediation. Once you've identified the root cause, you need to take action to fix the problem.
Right, and this is where automation comes into play.
Yeah, AIOps can automate many of those common remediation tasks, like restarting services, scaling resources, or even rolling back a problematic change.
So instead of manually logging into servers and executing commands, you can have AIOps do it all for you.
Precisely. And because it's all automated, it's much faster and less prone to human error.
Right. So the IT team can focus on those higher level tasks like preventing future incidents and improving the overall resilience of the IT environment.
Exactly. And here's the bottom line. Organizations that implement AIOps for incident management see a significant reduction in MTTD mean time to detect and MTTR mean time to resolve, which translates to less downtime, happier users, and ultimately a more successful business.
It's a win-win situation for everybody.
It is.
But let's not forget about the other areas where AIOps is making a big impact.
Yeah, we've still got security change management and even the business case for AIOps to explore.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about how AIOps is changing the game for IT security. This is an area that's becoming increasingly critical, especially with all the cyber threats we're facing these days.
Absolutely. And traditionally, security has been a bit of a siloed function within IT.
Right.
Security teams often operate independently with their own tools and processes, which can create blind spots and vulnerabilities.
It's like having different departments in a company that don't communicate with each other.
No.
Things can easily slip through the cracks.
Exactly. But AIOps is breaking down those silos by integrating security data and insights into the overall IT operations picture.
So instead of security being an afterthought, it's baked into the very fabric of IT management.
Precisely. And that has a profound impact on the way organizations approach security. First and foremost, it enables a much more proactive approach to threat detection.
Okay, tell me more about how that works.
You remember those AI-powered anomaly detection capabilities we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Well, they're not just useful for spotting performance issues.
Yeah.
They're also incredibly effective at identifying those subtle patterns that might indicate a security threat.
So instead of relying on those traditional signature-based security tools that are always playing catch-up with the latest threats,
Right.
you've got an AI that's constantly learning and adapting to new attack patterns.
Exactly. AIOps can analyze vast amounts of security data, from logs and network traffic to user behavior and system configurations, looking for those telltale signs of malicious activity.
It's like having a highly trained security guard who can spot those suspicious characters even when they're trying to blend in with the crowd.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And because AIOps can correlate events across different systems, it can often connect the dots and identify those multi-stage attacks that would go unnoticed by traditional security tools.
So it's kind of like having a detective who can piece together all those seemingly unrelated clues and expose the bigger picture.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And when a security incident does occur, AIOps helps organizations respond much faster and more effectively.
So no more scrambling around trying to figure out what happened and who to call.
Exactly. AIOps automatically gathers all the relevant information, analyzes the scope of the attack, and even recommends the most appropriate course of action.
It's like having a crisis management team on standby 24/7.
That's a great way to put it. And because AIOps can automate many of those incident response tasks, security teams can focus on those higher-level strategic decisions that require human expertise.
Okay, so it's not just about reacting to threats. It's about building a more resilient and secure IT environment overall.
Absolutely. And here's another important aspect of AIOps for security compliance. With all the regulations and standards out there, it can be a real challenge for organizations to stay on top of their security obligations.
It's like trying to navigate a maze of rules and regulations that are constantly changing.
All right.
It's enough to make your head spin.
But AIOps can help simplify this process by automating many of those compliance-related tasks. It can continuously monitor your systems for vulnerabilities, generate detailed audit reports, and even provide recommendations for improving your security posture.
So it's like having a built-in compliance officer who's constantly looking over your shoulder and making sure you're following the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that peace of mind is invaluable for organizations that are operating in highly regulated industries, like healthcare, finance, and government.
Okay, so we've seen how AIOps can revolutionize incident management and security. What about change management? This is another area where things can often go wrong, leading to downtime and disruptions.
You're right. Traditional change management processes can be slow, cumbersome, and often fail to account for the complexities of modern IT environments.
Yeah, it's like trying to steer a giant ship with a tiny rudder. One wrong move and you could run aground.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
But AIOps brings a new level of intelligence and automation to change management, making it a much smoother and less risky process.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about how AIOps transforms change management.
It starts with impact analysis. Before you implement any change, AIOps can analyze its potential impact on the entire IT environment. It can identify potential conflicts, dependencies, and even predict how the change might affect performance and availability.
So, no more unpleasant surprises when a seemingly minor change brings down half your systems.
Precisely. AIOps provides that much-needed visibility and foresight, allowing you to make more informed decisions about when and how to implement changes.
It's like having a crystal ball that can show you the potential consequences of your actions before you take them.
Exactly. And beyond impact analysis, AIOps can also automate many of those manual tasks that are typically involved in change management. Think about things like creating change requests, scheduling implementations, and even rolling back changes if something goes wrong.
So it's not just about making smarter decisions, it's also about streamlining the entire change process.
You got it. And because AIOps can integrate with your existing change management tools and processes, it's not a rip and replace solution.
Okay.
It's about augmenting and enhancing your current capabilities.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about the people and processes too.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the business case for AIOps. We've talked about all the amazing things AIOps can do, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to whether it makes good business sense.
Because no matter how cool the technology is, if it doesn't deliver tangible business value, it's not going to get adopted.
You're absolutely right. So let's talk about how to build a compelling business case for AIOps.
Okay.
The first step is to quantify the pain points that AIOps can address.
Okay, so we're talking about putting a dollar amount on those headaches, those late nights, and those lost productivity hours.
Precisely. Think about the cost of downtime, the impact of security breaches, the inefficiencies of manual processes, the time spent troubleshooting problems.
Yeah.
These are all things that AIOps can help to improve.
It's about understanding the true cost of doing nothing right.
Exactly. And once you've quantified the pain points, you could start to calculate the return on investment ROI for AIOps. This involves taking into account both the direct and indirect benefits of the technology.
Direct benefits being things like reduced operational costs, faster incident resolution, and improved security posture.
Exactly. And indirect benefits might include things like improved customer satisfaction, reduced risk, and faster time to market.
So it's about painting a holistic picture of how AIOps can benefit the entire organization, not just the IT department.
Precisely. And when you're presenting your business case, don't forget to focus on those key performance indicators, KPIs that resonate with executives.
Things like reduced MTTR, improved customer satisfaction scores, and maybe even a decrease in those dreaded war room meetings.
You got it. And to really seal the deal, showcase those real-world success stories from other organizations in your industry.
So it's all about showing, not just telling.
Exactly. And when it comes to implementation, outline a phased approach, starting with those areas where you can achieve quick wins and build momentum.
So it's like climbing a mountain one step at a time.
That's a great analogy. And remember, transparency is key. Be upfront about the costs involved, but also emphasize the significant ROI that AIOps can deliver.
So it's about making a solid, data-driven argument that even the most skeptical executives can't ignore.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the bottom line is that AIOps is not just a technology, it's a strategic investment in operational excellence and digital transformation.
Right.
It's about positioning your organization for success in a world that's becoming increasingly reliant on technology.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of AIOps.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground, but there's still so much to explore.
Oh, yeah. It's a rapidly evolving field, and the possibilities are truly endless.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this episode, I'm curious to know what stood out to you as the most significant takeaway from our exploration of AIOps.
For me, it's the transformative power of AIOps to not only improve efficiency and reduce costs, but also to elevate the role of IT professionals.
Yeah, I completely agree. By automating those mundane tasks, AIOps frees up IT teams to focus on more strategic and innovative work.
Exactly. It empowers them to become true business enablers, driving value and innovation across the organization.
And that's something we can all get excited about.
Absolutely. So as you continue your journey into the world of AIOps, remember that it's not just about technology, it's about people, processes, and ultimately about creating a better future for everyone.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with a final thought to ponder. As AIOps continues to evolve at an astonishing pace, what do you think the future of IT operations will look like? How will these advancements shape the way businesses operate and compete in the years to come? We encourage you to share your thoughts and insights with us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with technology.
And as always, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.